Hello, the discussion is on dual nature of matter, session 10, electron microscope, the principle and working of electron microscope. Recap, application of Heisenberg uncertainty principle to determine the width of the spectral lines, 1. Second one, application of Heisenberg uncertainty principle to determine electrons which are not present inside the nucleus. Heisenberg uncertainty principle, it is impossible to measure the position and the momentum of a particle precisely and simultaneously. That means if there is an uncertainty in the measurement of position, then there is no uncertainty in the measurement of momentum. If you multiply these two, delta x dot delta px nearly equal to h cut by 2, where delta x be the uncertainty in the measurement of position, then delta px be the uncertainty in the measurement of momentum, then according to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, delta x dot delta px is nearly equal to or greater than or equal to h cut by 2. Then the same Heisenberg uncertainty principle is also expressed as delta L dot delta theta greater than or equal to h cut by 2, where h cut is equal to h by 2 pi. Here h is Planck's constant. Delta L is the uncertainty in the measurement of angular momentum. Delta theta is the uncertainty in the measurement of angular displacement. The same Heisenberg uncertainty principle is also expressed as delta E dot delta T greater than or equal to h cut by 2. In this equation, delta E be the uncertainty in the measurement of energy, delta T be the uncertainty in the measurement of time. Then again Heisenberg uncertainty principle is expressed as delta E dot delta T is nearly equal to h cut by 2. This Heisenberg uncertainty principle is also used to illustrate in the case of gamma ray microscope and the applications. The application of this is to find the width of the spectral line. To determine the width of the spectral line, we are using the equation delta E dot delta T nearly equal to h cut by 2 or h by 2 pi. Then delta E is equal to h by 4 pi into 1 by delta T. Delta E is expressed as h into delta nu because according to Planck's law, E is equal to h nu. Implies delta E is equal to h into delta nu. If you substitute that, h into delta nu is equal to h by 4 pi into 1 by delta t, h gets cancels. If using this equation, delta nu is equal to 1 by 4 pi into delta t. If you know delta t, the uncertainty in the measurement of time, then it is possible to calculate the difference in frequency, implies the spread in the wavelength or width of the spectral line is estimated. This is one of the application. The second application of Heisenberg uncertainty principle is electrons cannot be present inside the nucleus. How? The picture is of the following. You know uncertainty principle, delta x dot delta px is nearly equal to h cut by 2 or h by 4 pi. Now, suppose the electron present inside the nucleus. The radius of the nucleus is 1 Fermi, that is 10 power minus 15 meter, femtometer. The diameter of the nucleus is 2r, that is 2 into 10 power minus 15 meter. If suppose electron present inside the nucleus, it is present anywhere in a nucleus of diameter 2 into 10 power minus 15 meter. That is, an uncertainty in the measurement of position delta x is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 15 meter. You calculate delta px. The delta px is equal to h by 4 pi into 1 by delta x. Substitute the value of h 3 into 6.625 10 power minus 34 by 4 pi into 1 by 2 into 10 power minus 15. The answer is roughly 2.64 into 10 power minus 20 kg meter per second. If we assume that this is nearly equal to momentum p, then kinetic energy of the electron is p square by 2m. Substitute the value of p is 2.64 10 power minus 20 whole square by 2 into 3 9.1 10 power minus 31. The answer for the energy is 2390 mega electron volt. That means if electron present inside the nucleus at the maximum energy of kinetic energy of electron is 2390 mega electron volt. But an experiment says if beta particle is emitted, if electron is emitted from the nucleus, its energy emission is around 4 mega electron volt. That means there is a large energy difference between the energy which is calculated using Heisenberg uncertainty principle and an experiment where the electron is emitted. Shows that electrons cannot be present inside the nucleus. This is the conclusive evidence, and these are all the two applications which are discussed in the previous class, that is called applications of Heisenberg uncertainty principles. Then in this branch we want to study the principle of electron microscope as well as the working of electron microscope. What is a microscope? The microscope is a device, is an instrument used to get the magnified image of the object. Then there are different types of microscope present. Transmission electron microscope, scanning electron microscope, generally called electron microscope, optical microscope, then compound microscope, like that. Different types of microscopes which are exist. Tunneling microscopes are present, etc. Now, what is the main advantage of this electron microscope? The electron microscope is the microscope. It works on the principle of wave nature of electron. Not only that, it has very high resolution. It produces a resolving power of 10 power 5 times more when compared with an optical microscope or an ordinary microscope or a light microscope. Then what is the principle involved generally in the case of electron microscope? See, before going to discuss this, what is the session outcome? The students will be able to understand the working of electron microscope, types of electron microscope, and the principle of electron microscope. Okay, then microscope, I already mentioned what is a microscope and what are the types of microscopes which are present. Then electron properties. The electron properties, what are the properties of electron? Actually, any radioactive substance which emits radiation, it may emit alpha rays or beta rays or gamma radiation. Alpha rays are positively charged, it is nothing but a helium nucleus. Beta particles are negatively charged, and we assume that that is nothing but electrons. And what are the properties of beta particle? The beta particle or electrons, it is negatively charged. Its spin is half and the particle is called fermion. It travels almost equal to the speed of light, 0.98 c, almost c be the speed of light. But it is deflected in the presence of electric as well as magnetic field. Therefore, in an electron microscope, electron beam is deflected unto focus using magnetic lenses, not an ordinary lenses are used to focus the electron beam. Okay, so these are all the properties of electron. Then come to optical microscope. I already mentioned they get the magnified image by considering the radiation or light. Then come to the principle. I mentioned it is in order to work electron microscope, there are two principles, two main terms which are used to work electron microscope construction. One is it works on the principle of wave nature of electron. The second one, the ability of electric and magnetic fields which act as lenses. I mentioned not an ordinary lenses or glass lenses are used. Here electric field and magnetic fields are used as a lenses to focus the electron beam on a specimen and to magnify the specimen. Generally we know the limit of resolution of a microscope is the minimum distance of separation between the two closely lying point objects that are just seen separately. And an expression for limit of resolution dx is equal to lambda by 2n sin theta or lambda by 2 sin theta. If you use the refractive index is here, n is equal to 1. Resolving power is the reciprocal of limit of resolution. Rp is equal to 1 by dx or 1 by limit of resolution, that is 2n sin theta by lambda. Say whenever electron beam is accelerated by applying a high potential difference, then the wavelength of the electron beam decreases because lambda is equal to h by square root of 2m eV. When voltage is more, lambda is less. When the wavelength of the electron beam is less, automatically its resolving power increases. Then come to the working of electron microscope. I already mentioned here there are three lenses which are used: condenser lens, magnetic condenser lens, magnetic objective lens, and magnetic projector lens, projective lens or projector lens. All the three lenses are made with a coil, not by glass materials. You take a coil, whenever the current flows through the coil, magnetic field is produced. By proper adjustment of the magnetic field, it acts like a magnetic lenses. What is a lens? Generally, lens is an optical medium bounded by the two surfaces, with at least one surface is either spherical or cylindrical. When a beam of light is incident on the lens, either it converges the beam of light or diverges the beam of light. Now, in an electron microscope, instead of using a light, here electron beam is used to scan the sample as well as magnified image of the sample. For that, one of the property of electron beam we know, that is deflected in the presence of electric field as well as magnetic field. Here magnetic lenses are used to focus the electron beam to the specimen, and we get a magnified image of the specimen. So for that, three magnetic lenses are used: the magnetic condenser lens, magnetic objective lens, magnetic projective lens. Now the specimen is placed after magnetic condenser lens. That means the function of the magnetic condenser lens is to focus the electron beam to the specimen. Where the electrons are generated? The electrons are generated from electron gun, passes through the magnetic condenser lens, made to fall on the specimen, and we get a magnified image of the specimen. Where the magnified image, it present some distances more than that. That means you know the magnified image. An object is present beyond the principal focus of the lens. We have different characteristic features of the lens. When an object is between the principal focus, we get virtual enlarged images. Okay, fine. Then same thing is incident on the next lens called magnetic objective lens. We get an enlarged image which is generated. Then again that is passes through the magnetic projector lens. We get more magnifying power. For example, if an object is present, it produces around 10,000 times the original object after passing through the first lens. If it passes through the second lens, it produces more magnification. This is the working of electron microscope that is mentioned here. The working of electron microscope is similar to the optical microscope is mentioned. Electrons are accelerated by applying high potential difference, say 10 to 100 kilovolt. Then that is incident on the specimen after passing through the two magnetic lens or electrostatic lens. The whole system is placed in a vacuum to avoid the collision between electron and air molecules. The electron beam passes through the specimen and electrons are scattered from the most dense parts of the specimen, which then passes through the magnetic objective lens. We get a final image. First image is at I, that is some magnification which is generated. In order to get a more magnifying power of the microscope, the same image is act as an object of a second lens, that is called, we were called as third lens, magnetic projector lens, which forms the final image, and that is observed on a fluorescent screen or a photographic plate. So though the scattering process projects particle nature of electron, the wave property has to be considered when we know the resolving power of the microscope. The limit of resolution is also mentioned here. Then what is the magnification and what are the distinction between an electron microscope and an optical microscope? The main distinction is electron microscope produces very high magnification of the order of 10 power 5 times the original object when compared with optical microscope. The second one is, in the case of electron microscope, electron beam is used to focus to incident on the specimen and gets the magnified image of the specimen. Whereas in the case of an optical microscope, instead of using an electron beam, a light radiation is used to get the magnified image. And a third distinction between an electron microscope and optical microscope is, in the case of electron microscope, electron beam gets condensed, means focused, and produces magnification with the help of magnetic lenses, which is not a lens. Not a lens means not made up of glass material. Okay, whereas in the case of optical microscope, glass lenses are used to focus the beam, the radiation to the specimen. So these are all the three main distinctions between these two, electron microscope as well as optical microscope. Then what are the types of electron microscope present? There are two main types of electron microscope. One is called transmission electron microscope as well as second one scanning electron microscope. Transmission electron microscope is the device to get the magnified image of the specimen that is discussed here, the working of electron microscope. Whereas scanning electron microscope is taken, it is used to get the scan the specimen. It's not a magnified image of the specimen,